Welcome to the news. I'm Tommy Fox, filling in for Tom Slavic. Let's take a look at our headlines. Sutter Creek approved a budget with a contingency for the third year in a row. AFPD board moved toward paying training for its full-time fire employees. AWA approved redevelopment for Camanche Well 14. A Stockton man won a record-setting $86,000 Pai Gow Poker jackpot at Jackson Rancheria Casino. CAL FIRE will suspend burn permits in the Amador-El Dorado Unit response area effective July 2nd. Mixed martial arts will return to the Jackson Rancheria Casino with UFC 148 on pay-per-view July 7th. And in the second half of the news, I'll speak with City Manager Jeff Gardner for an update on the happenings in Plymouth. Stay tuned.
You're watching Amador County's #1 news and sports leader, TSPN.
Welcome back. I'm Tommy Fox, filling in for Tom Slavic. Sutter Creek City Council on Monday approved a $3 million budget for the coming fiscal year with a third straight contingency. Finance Director Joe Aguilar said the budget reflected trending upward of citywide sales tax, property tax, and transient occupancy tax, reflecting an assumed 2 to 3% increase in revenues. Aguilar said the worst is over for the economic downturn for the state, reflected in the upward trend. The budget assumed they will get the revenues the city is getting this year. He said Sutter Creek has done a little better than the rest of the cities in the county who did not get an increase in property tax revenue. Councilman Jim Swift asked about Assessor Jim Rooney's comments that home values may decline. Aguilar said, "We were told a year ago that we would be moving down and we have not experienced that. We did not experience what the assessor told us to expect." Mayor Linda Rionda said the budget revenue numbers were conservative, based on the current fiscal year. Aguilar said the budget closed an $80,000 gap in the police department when it lost a federal grant. He said it is bare bones and advised the city council to take itself off the city payroll instead of its current stipend pay due to IRS wanting Social Security taxes collected from its politicians. Swift said council members cannot be exempted from workers' comp. Aguilar said he hates being a stickler, but he expects the IRS to go after 3 years' taxes. City Manager Sean Rebay said language to correct the city's lost education revenue augmentation funding is incorporated in the governor's budget, which the legislature passed last Friday. Another bill, AB 1191, addressing those funds, has another legislative subcommittee hearing next week. Swift said the budget seems very reasonable and I know you guys worked very hard on this after losing the federal grant. He said Rebay and Aguilar were moving forward with diligence in watching costs and he had confidence in them. Rionda echoed the praise and said it was the third time they had finished a budget that showed a contingency. She said some see you as inaccessible, but that comes from a lot of hard work. Aguilar said the contingency is about $79,000 for the next year. Aguilar said the contingency could drop by the end of the fiscal year based on a few variables, but not by more than $15,000 to $20,000 up or down, based on April numbers. The Amador Fire Protection District Board of Directors on Tuesday directed staff to work on expanding paid training for district firefighting and engineer employees. Amador County supervisors who make up the AFPD board voted unanimously to direct staff to develop policy to have reimbursement for employees that meet the level of reimbursement the volunteers get. The direction also asked staff to create a list of classes that qualify for reimbursement. Supervisors modified a resolution on Education Allowance Training Program. Volunteers currently get reimbursed up to 50% of the costs for training related to the work. Supervisors discussed potential impacts from improved skills training on making personnel more attractive to other agencies. Supervisor Chairman Louis Boitano said if we provide training, then they leave. He saw it as an issue. AFPD Battalion Chief Dave Bellarive said current engineer positions need certifications and new firefighters need it too, including volunteers and full-time staff. Supervisor Vice Chairman Richard Forrester said if they add college-level education, it can make firefighters better candidates for job or better qualified. He said they had the same problem with the Sheriff's Department. They get trained, they stay through a 6-month probationary period, then they leave. Bellarive said it makes it a better firefighter to have them get EMT training. Plass asked about a budget line item of $6,000 in training costs and noted that Measure M budget detail increased from $1,500 to $16,000 a year. He said fire district employees attend classes with no compensation, but volunteers do get that. Bellarive said volunteers pay 100% to get trained, then AFPD would pay up to 50% of the cost for fire-related classes. Forrester asked if it would be better to require that employee must have the class pre-approved for reimbursement and asked about fire science classes. Bellarive said they want them to take the classes if they want to, and deadlines to sign up with the district office may be closed, hindering those sign-ups. He said they have to take the class and pass it to get reimbursed. Bellarive said fire science in some way or fashion relates to fighting or AFPD. He said trainees will not be doing investigation at the scene, but anyone who goes to the scene should observe where the fire has been, where it is going, and other characteristics to help preserve the scene. And the Amador Water Agency Board of Directors voted 4-1 Tuesday to approve $9,100 in work to redevelop Camanche Water Improvement District Wells number 14, while the well sits dismantled awaiting a new pump. Director Richard Farrington voted against the move, believing that the well's quality might not improve with the work. President Gary Thomas said, "I don't want to sit here and second-guess a professional well driller." Consultant Pat Dunn, president of Dunn Environmental, recommended 2 days' work on the project. Field Services Manager Chris McCaig said Dunn would use a plunger and a jet action to clean sediment from the well and would have liked to spend 2 days on the project at $3,600 a day. To save money, the AWA will handle chlorination of the well, a third process recommended by Dunn, then get about 4 hours of work on the plunging and jet action from Dunn. McCaig said well 14 is already running clear when they pulled the broken pump. The board authorized $5,500 in repairs and $3,600 for redevelopment, and another day's work if needed, after Thomas recommended they give Mancebo and McCaig some leeway to spend a little more time, depending on what happened that day. Spending the additional $3,600 would need the president's concurrence. General Manager Gene Mancebo said for $3,600 that was hard to beat. With AWA staff chlorinating the well the day before, the agency would get 85% of the work, 85% of the benefit for 50% of the cost. Instead of 6 hours on each process, Dunn will spend 4 hours on surging and jetting work. Mancebo said, well 14 is west of the fault line that Dunn discovered in a groundwater study he reported to the AWA last week. McKeague said well 14 will also be replaced less deeply than the well went before. It will allow installation of a 40 horsepower pump instead of a 60 horsepower motor that was there before. Farrington asked about Dunn's recommendations to reduce gallons per minute pumping at well 14 from 350 to 250 due to turbidity. McCaig said it was recommended to reduce it to closer to 200 gallons per minute. A Stockton man hit a major progressive jackpot in the easy Pai Gow Poker at Jackson Rancheria Casino Resort this week for a record-setting payout of more than $86,000. The man, who wished to remain anonymous, got a 7-card straight flush, winning the progressive jackpot of $76,000 during a hand he played Tuesday, June 19th at the Jackson Rancheria. He also had a $5 bonus wager at 2,000 to 1 odds for an additional $10,000 payout and a total payout of $86,000, the largest easy Pai Gow ever at Jackson Rancheria. In addition, 2 other players received $400 NB bonuses. Jackson Rancheria Casino Resort is located at 12222 New York Ranch Road in Jackson. The Amador County Department of Forestry and Fire Protection's Amador-El Dorado Unit announced that all burn permits in Amador and El Dorado County, western El Dorado County, will be suspended effective July 2nd. Unit Chief Kelly Keenan said time is running out for people to be able to burn residential vegetation and urged people to complete burn projects on permissive burn days, but hold off until winter to finish burning if they feel it is unsafe due to temperature, wind, or terrain. For safe burning, keep piles no larger than 4 by 4 feet, have a charged hose with a shovel within arm's reach, and keep a 10-foot barrier of bare dirt around each pile. He said, burn vegetation from your property. Household trash of any kind is illegal to burn, and so are burn barrels. Never leave piles unattended and make sure they are completely out when you are done. For more information, see fire.ca.gov or readyforwildfire.org. And Mixed Martial Arts returns to the Jackson Rancheria Casino Resort in July with Ultimate Fighting Championship Fight number 148 on pay-per-view. Jackson Rancheria announced that the pay-per-view event will be available on screens in the Grand Oak Ballroom Hotel at 7 p.m. Saturday, July 7th. Doors open at 6. Stadium food and drinks will be available for purchase. People must be 21 years old to attend. In 2010, Chael Sonnen came within 2 minutes of dethroning one of the greatest fighters of all time, UFC middleweight champion Anderson Silva. On July 7th, the self-proclaimed gangster from West Lynn, Oregon, attempts to finish what he started in the most eagerly anticipated rematch of UFC history. The card includes Tito Ortiz and Forrest Griffin, who will settle the score in their final bout of their trilogy. And striking superstar Kung Lee battles the returning Canadian knockout artist Patrick Cote. And that's it for the first half of our news. I'll be back with Jeff Gardner. Stay tuned.
You're watching Amador County's #1 news and sports leader, TSPN.
Experience the great outdoors of the High Sierra Historic Plazas Resort. Tent and RV camping, boat lunch and fishing, trail and wilderness hiking, canoe and kayak rentals, and campsites for horse and rider. With seasonal site rentals, group campsites, store, arcade, showers, laundry, restaurant, and bar. Create lasting memories of family fun all summer long. Save on gas. It's only a short drive from Jackson off Highway 88 at Silver Lake. Visit us online at plazasresort.com or reserve your site by calling 209-258-8814. Plazas Resort, where the good times begin.
Kids Bowl free at Gold Country Lanes. Register your child for a summer of bowling fun. 2 games a day all summer. Go to www.kidsbowlfree.com GCL.
At Amador Athletic Club, you will discover how easy it is to look and feel your absolute best. Featuring state-of-the-art equipment, you can enjoy a variety of cardio, weight training, and fitness exercises. Along with Amador Athletic Club's one-on-one consultations and personal training, we also offer group exercise classes for our members. Amador Athletic Club has a friendly, supportive atmosphere where helping you live a healthy lifestyle is our priority. Stop by or call 267-9116. The new you begins today at Amador Athletic Club.
I hope you find a home. I hope you find a home. Hey, maybe you'll be picked next. Maybe you'll be picked next. We've been caged together too long. We've been caged together too long. How come nobody ever picks me? Maybe they're looking for somebody different. Pick me! Well, the shelter's closing up for another day. We didn't get picked. I know. Tomorrow. Guaranteed.
Find your perfect pet at the shelter. And thank you from Jeff Holman Auto Center, a name you can trust for 28 years and growing. Do you snore? Are you tired during the day?